Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new piercing reaction video. Oh my god, I have my fan. My fan! She's back, girls. Hi everyone, hi. Yes, so today I'm going to be doing some more of your piercing horror stories. Thank you for everyone who has submitted your horror stories. So on my last video, I always go back in the comments and I'll go through and look at some of your horror stories. As always, please comment down below some of your piercing horror stories and maybe you can make it to the next video. But anyway, let's not be around the bush, eh? And get straight onto your horror stories. Horror story. I'm an artist and I usually use canvases, but my cousin asked me to paint the walls of his new piercing studio. That's fun. I was wearing some small hoops in the lobes of my ears. While I was on the ladder, oh no. You're gonna fall off the ladder or something, aren't you? You're just gonna get ripped in the ladder. No go, no go. She fell off the ladder, but nothing actually happened. She landed on her feet in fabulousness. While I was on the ladder, it moved and I fell off it and it got caught on some exposed wires from the light and ripped out of my ear. My cousin grabbed me, shoved me into his car and took me to the hospital. In the end, I got £50 and a free piercing for life. Ah! We love a silver lining. I want to know, like, how did your ear get caught around some, like, wire? Like, what, did you, like, stand up in it and, like, you just didn't realize that it got hooked around your hoop? Because if you're only wearing small hoops, I don't know how you managed to get it caught in. Because if it's only like little hoops, I don't like how. That's just literally the worst luck imaginable. Like if you're tiny little hoops and you happen to fall and you get caught on like some wire that's on the wall, no go. Rippy whippy up the looby wooby out. It does not sound fun at all. But I mean, you get free piercings now for life because he assaulted you and he was like, I'm gonna give you free piercings so you don't sue me. Where there's blame, there's a claim. I fell and seriously injured my fringe. Piercing horror story. I got my belly button pierced when I was 15. My dad went with me, I got it done. Everything went smoothly, it didn't hurt at all. So we started walking out the studio and I was behind my dad. And suddenly I felt my legs go weak and my head felt really heavy. And I fainted, but since my dad is deaf, he didn't realize and someone else. I'm sorry, this is awful. I shouldn't, no, I mean, you're fine, so it's fine. But like, just imagine you're like, Dad's sort of like gaily walking down the street and then he looks, he's like trying to talk to you and then he looks around and you're like disappeared. He has like a mini heart attack, like, where is she? And then you're like way down the road, like on the floor. Oh! A few weeks later, I was at recess at school having my lunch with friends. One of them burped and we all laughed, but the bish got mad at me and decided to throw a block of plastic ice and it hit my piercing. Long story short, it got infected, so I had to take it out. I had to get it redone a few years later and now it's fine. Wait, so she burped and then she got mad at you? Someone else burped and then she got mad at you? You got blamed because someone else burped? I don't understand. That's good. She threw ice, I can't. This story just went on lots of different tangents, lots of different kind of ways, and I didn't know how it was going to end. Oh my god. My piercing horror story. So when I was 14, I really wanted my cartilage pierced, so I was telling my friends, since one of them already had hers. That day, my friend and I thought it'd be a good idea to pierce my ear. Oh god. In school, girl! We were at school at the time in the cafeteria, and my friend who had hers pierced took her earring out and gave it to my other friend who proceeded to shove it through my ear. That's absolutely horrendous. Not only is that completely unsanitary, like it's not even something that should be pierced in your ear, it's an earring, not a needle. Like, what the hell? No gloves or sanitization, may I add. I mean, you didn't really need to tell me that. I kind of understood that on its own. It took maybe 3 to 5 minutes to get it in through my ear. It was good for a few days, but felt really sore. And in French class, like a few days after it was pierced, my friends took it out and said it was infected. So we took it out in the middle of the class and it started bleeding. Let's just say my parents were not too happy with me. I won't be too happy with you either. Oh my god. I get that people want piercings and stuff, people love it and stuff, but it's just the fact that like, I'd much rather you use a safety pin than just getting a blunt earring and shoving that through, because at least a safety pin's at least somewhat sharp. But just picking out someone's earring that they've had in their ear, which is probably not clean, like, and just choo-choo. I got my conch and helix done at the same time and they'd been healing up beautifully for a month or so with no issues at all. I was sitting on a train and the woman standing near me turned around suddenly, smacking me with her huge heavy purse. The corner of the purse hit me in the ear and somehow managed to bump and tug on both piercings at the same time. It hurt so bad that I yelled, but she didn't even apologize, bitch. After that, they were so swollen and bumpy and angry for months. I had to take the conch out because it was just too far gone and it scarred over. My helix still flares up to 2 years later, I'm still mad. One of the most infuriating things when it comes to piercings is when they go wrong, is if it's someone else's fault because they've knocked you, they've whacked you, they've bashed you or something. I've had my nape piercing, the back of my neck, rejected a lot faster than what it should have done because my brother decided back in 2010 that he was gonna jump on my back and like put his arm around my neck as if like we're playing like when we're kids, like play fighting. I'm like, Jason, I'm 20 years old, like don't do this. But I remember him doing that and it made my neck piercing reject really quickly because he like pulled it and knocked it. And he had to go at me. I was like, I was like, what are you doing? That really hurt. You just knocked. He was like, oh, don't have a piercing there then. Like, no go. Like, no, so I can't. Can you imagine saying that to someone? It's your fault that I hurt you. Oh my God. I got my nipple pierced a little over a year ago for my 18th birthday, but the lady that did it was clearly in a rush and I was her last client. It was very busy and we heard her ask the lady at the desk if she was free to leave yet. Anyways, she marked it out, didn't get me to check the placement before it pierced it. No, when it comes to these kind of piercings, like if you're getting like a nipple pierced or anything like that, like slightly more sort of private area or anything more, a little more intense, you have to see it first. Oh my God, I would hate to get it done and then it'd be like, you know, vertical by accident, I mean, but do you know what I mean? Like if it was, no. And when I got home, I noticed that on one side, she completely missed the exit point and went super deep on one side. Oh my gosh. So I ended up with like a crater in my nipple as the ball would sink inwards until I had a great idea of putting a micropore tape behind it. It ended up catching up a bunch of times to the point where it ripped into the position it should have been initially. I love that you ripped it so many times and it ended up like pulling it into the right position. So, I mean, you went through a lot of pain ripping it, but at least it now, you know, is even and in the right spot. So since I was born, my mum always wanted me to wear earrings because she imagined it looked very cute. So when I was 2 months, I got my first lobe piercings, oh, for God's sake. She did it herself with an actual earring. Wait, what? I mean, I have a strong reaction to people getting their babies pierced with piercing guns, let alone doing it yourself with, like, that's just not okay at all. They were healing fine until my mum realised it started to look kind of red. She didn't realise after 2 months later, then I was 4 months old, it started to cut my ear because it was too heavy for my baby's ears. Fast forward, when I was 8 months, my mum woke up in the morning and she went to check on me and one of the piercings had completely cut my ear all the way through. And 2 weeks later, the other one did the same. 16 years, I still have the scars. What the hell? Sorry, you might not like this, but child abuse. Your children are not toys, your babies are not toys, your pets are not toys, they cannot consent, like you're not even doing it. If you're doing it, if you're literally forcing a blunt object through your baby's ears, that's just child abuse. Like there's no way around that. You can't be like, oh, I'm just making her look pretty. This is the thing, people always say, oh, but they're so young, they don't remember it. That doesn't make any difference if you can't remember it. This person's now got scars on their ears because they did like, such a flawed logic, you wouldn't know. So when I was around 7, my mum asked me if I wanted to get my ears pierced, and of course I said yes. Now being a small 7-year-old, I didn't know about the unprofessional Claire's and piercing guns were. So of course I had both ears. After no more than 3 days, my piercings got infected because I was allergic to the metal. Oh God. This is the thing, a lot of the time people think that getting like their ears pierced or whatever is fine, like oh, everything gets done nice, but if you've got an allergy to the metal, it doesn't matter how professional the piercing is, your ears are gonna go like, no go, no go, no go. So I had to get my holes pierced a second time. After Christmas sometime this year, I went to get my second lobe piercing at Claire's with a gun. Why did you go back? Why did you, I don't understand, wait, why you went back again? And guess what happened? I was sent home with a lovely infection. So I took out one of the earrings to try to clean the piercing, and when I got to pull the earring back in, I ended up making a different hole in the back of my ear. What? So while I only have 4 visible piercings, I've actually made my ears pierced 7 times. I mean, that's dedication, I guess. But, oh my God, the thought, like you taking them out to infection, trying to put them back in, but then like doing it at different angles and like pushing through another bit of the ear. No go, that sounds horrendous. Yeah, unfortunately, allergies to metal can cause you, I mean, there are alternatives that you can use, like different types of metals, so it's not like, you know, complete sort of like, you can't get them ever. You just have to kind of like, hopefully find the one you're not. I'm not really too sure how you do allergy tests. So about 3 years ago now, I got my nose pierced after school one day in well-known barbers in my town. Here we go again, one of the things like, my beautician also does haircuts and also does dentistry and also does Botox and also does lip fillers. Like, No, girl. Barbers should not be piercing ears. I don't care if they're trained or whatever. Like, barbers should not be a piercing studio as well. They're two different things. It's like literally like those memes of like the girls who've got like cauliflower lips because they've had like really bad injections. Like, my hairdressers also did lip fillers, and it's like, and they're like cauliflower lips. No go. So the woman comes at me with a piercing gun, and at this point I only had one other piercing, so I just thought, oh, this is how they pierce people's noses. I know, how stupid can you get? So it all went well and good until a couple days afterwards I was in the shower. So I get in the shower and I get a bit of shampoo in my eyes. So I open the shower door and just start to rub my face with a towel, and my nose piercing gets caught and rips out. Blood then comes squirting out of my nose like a water pistol, and it just keeps gushing. And there was blood stains in the shower for years after that. When you do get new piercings, especially facial piercings, it's so easy to forget that you've got them because you're not used to having them there. I remember when I first got my nose pierced for the first time, I was so used to kind of sticking fake ones on that it didn't even occur to me to be more sensible around the area, because I kind of was like, oh, I was doing it already. But when I didn't when I would forget, I would actually pull it and it would hurt so much, because normally if I'd knock it, it would just come off because it was like a stuck-on thing. So I wasn't really thinking about it, and then I sort of rubbed my nose, and I remember it really, really hurting this one. I had a massive bump on it for a long time because I like pulled it. You can be as careful as you like. You can be as careful as you like. You will at least catch your new piercing at least once. It's pretty much inevitable that it's gonna happen. Like, you will catch it at least once. Roly, a couple years ago, I got my second lobe piercings done in a professional piercing shop. I went in there with my mum. They were cleaning my ears, and then I realized that they were using guns. There was two people doing it at the same time, so it would cause less pain. They marked my ears, didn't even show me where they were, and proceeded to pierce me. Later that day, I realized that they were completely uneven and had to wait until they healed to take them out. I went to take one out, but it was extremely painful. I took a deep breath and pulled the earring out. There was immediately blood everywhere, and I didn't know what to do. Turns out there was too much pressure in one of my ears, so they both got infected. I always get confused when people do this whole like, I'm gonna do them at the same time, blah, 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 blah. Like, if you're getting one done or whatever, and they say 1, 2, 3 or something, and you suddenly jolt and you've got two at the same time, you can pull it in things. Like, this whole thing, like, you would never do like 2 nostrils at the same time. You would have 2 piercers going, I'm gonna pierce at the same time. Like, you just wouldn't do things like that, like, or doing your lip, like, I just think the whole thing of doing it at the same time just seems bizarre. Hey, I just started watching you and I love it, thanks girl. I've got 12 piercings, so of course there's a horror story to be had. I've got a rowdy dog who loves to bark at my neighbours. I was leaning down trying to get her inside through the sliding door of my house that also had a screen door. Somehow through the struggle, both my cartilage studs got stuck in the screen sliding door, and I didn't realise until after it slid and shut forcefully to keep my dog inside. I was now over just trying to breathe, realizing what I did. How did your ears get caught in the sliding door script? Like, what? Did like that, because aren't they quite, like, do you mean like, is that a bit like the mesh bit that's almost like just sort of bugs coming in? Is that what that is? How did I get caught in that? One was yanked out completely and the other triangular stud was in my ear. I couldn't for the life of me pull it out, and I went to my piercer the next day. It was truly more painful than the actual piercing. Both healed just fine and look great today. You are very lucky that they healed fine. Oh my God, like that's the thing that makes them reject. Oh my, I can't believe they healed fine. I don't know how your ear managed to get stuck in the door. I'm confused how that even happened. Like that, again, that was just like the ladder woman falling off and getting caught on like the wire. Like, I feel like this is just incredibly bad luck. The thought as well of having like a piercing get shoved into your ear and you had to like get it like cut out and think like, no girl, that's horrendous. And it's always a red flag when they don't show you where the mark is. Well, I am truly on the trigger train, choo-choo, speeding down the railway about to crash off a cliff and plunge to my death. Babish. Oh my gosh, I love doing these story videos, they're really fun. The thing is, like, I always think like, what else could people say to me? And then I get stories about people fainting and their dad not knowing because they're deaf. Oh my God, lol, girls. But yeah, this is a lot. As always, guys, please comment down below your horror stories if you have got some for me. And something that I haven't done for a little while, because I'm back doing it now. I'm back on Patreon, so you come and support me on Patreon if you want. There's a link down below. And a massive shout out to my top tier patrons: Kelly Bowser, Ziggy Wiggy, Julie Seymour, Alex Prescott, 746, Philippa Clark, and Claire Herman. Thank you so much for being my top tier patrons. I love you guys. Thank you for all your support. It really does help me out. But anyway, guys, if you're amazingly gay, be everything you want to be, is any bitch that'll tell you that you can't be you. Why is that? You're flawless.